For a little bit, though, I want to talk about something which it feels like I've had to talk about for years and years and years. Well, it's true, because I have. We're talking about the cost of living crisis here. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Let's just learn about an organisation that's tackling this kind of thing head on. It's called the St Vincent de Paul Society, and it's a frontline grassroots charity dedicated to helping individuals and families facing poverty, facing homelessness, other hardship as well. It's got a new chief executive officer, which is Kate Nightingale, and Kate joins me this morning. Good morning, Kate.
Hi, Phil.
Just explain a little bit about St Vincent de Paul, then.
Brilliant. Okay, so when people ask me what the St Vincent de Paul Society do, it's often quicker for me to explain what we don't do, because there's nothing we don't do, and there's no one we turn away when it comes to meeting the needs of other people. We've been doing it for nearly 200 years, and we're supported by an army of about 18,000 volunteers, adults and children aged from 4 right up to over 100 years old. And I think that makes us pretty unique.
Yeah. Where do you all come from? How do you get involved? Yeah. What's sort of the background? I know it's sort of a Catholic-led thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so 99% of our volunteers are Catholics who are guided by the principles of Catholic social teaching, turning concern for others into action. But we've also got a staff group of about 250 people who are very much all faiths and none. And what binds is our core mission of offering sort of practical help to people in need with compassion and dignity. And we're national, so we're England and Wales. So anywhere in the country, you'll find us somewhere in a support centre or locally.
In need, as you mentioned, it's a heavy lifting term, isn't it? And that can mean many different things. Give me some examples of the kind of work that you're doing.
Great. So anything, as I said, from visiting people in their homes, offering friendship to people who are lonely or are new to this country. That's kind of the emotional support. But we're also really practical. We'll offer furniture, help with form filling, school uniforms, food parcels, opening a bank account. That can be really challenging for some people getting into the digital world. We support care leavers, victims of trafficking and modern slavery. So we'll support anybody really who needs us.
Wow.
We've got staff-based shops and support centres in the country as well, and they offer furniture, debt advice, counselling, or just a warm place to come in and have a cup of tea. We are busy.
Such a huge, I can only imagine. And having been around for a couple of 100 years, it sounds to me like the needs probably changed in that time. And I know that's something that's quite close to your mind at the moment, isn't it? Or the change in the kind of things you're having to do.
Very much so. I mean, the landscape of the need is changing. So there have always been people who've been lonely, but with an ageing population now, people with dementia and living longer, people are really struggling with person-to-person contact. So that sort of emotional need is huge. The need, furniture poverty is absolutely massive. We're seeing families both in work and on benefits struggle to pay for energy, furniture. We regularly top up electricity and gas cards. Food poverty is still rife. Our food bank is constantly being topped up, and we use the local Trussell Trust Bank sometimes. They can't give us their food anymore because they're running low themselves. Buying white goods, beds, floor coverings for people who are moving into rented accommodation. I think a well-off town in the southeast of England spent £1,800 in the last month on school uniforms and coats for kids at school.
Wow.
So really different. In-work poverty as well is a huge need. People who are working.
It's startling how much need there is. And, that must be quite tough to be there at the coalface of this and to see that situation.
Really tough, but hugely life-affirming, because I think this is the great thing about the SVP. Taking a small step, doing something for someone somewhere in the community is personally really life-affirming, and collectively is the only thing that affects real change. I think it's why I love the SVP so much. Everyone does their own bit, and together that's huge.
Okay. Now, I know that coming up, because you're new in charge, so I guess you get a chance here to make a little influence in the whole thing. But you've got a talk coming up. Talk me through that. When's that? I know it's not until next month.
Yes, a pub talk by the Catholic Union. They have me at the word pub, to be honest, Phil.
Yes, a pub talk. Excellent.
But it is, I am slightly daunted to be following in the footsteps of some great speakers. They've had a lot of people on, Catholics, Lord Alton, John Cruddas, Ian Duncan Smith, and. The angle of my talk is, just as we said, the changing landscape of need. So, you know, the drastic increase in people from working families needing food parcels, the need of people socially isolated, the move to the world of digital, you know, the new form of exclusion with people who don't and can't afford computers or can't use them because of lack of education, lack of English language, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's sort of poverty I saw it goes unnoticed. A man came into our lead centre on Friday and bumped into the door. And someone made a joke, looks like you need to give your glasses a wipe. But he wasn't wearing any. He said he knew he needed glasses but couldn't actually afford the eye test, let alone the glasses.
Wow.
So something as basic as being able to see is you know, serves to show us what sort of choices people are having to make.
It's an important thing you're doing, Kate. It's an amazing thing you're doing. If anybody's interested in finding out more about the St Vincent de Paul Society, what should they do?
Like everyone, we have a beautiful website, the SVP, England and Wales. They can certainly contact and call me. I'd be delighted to talk to anyone about the SVP. Come to the talk on the 13th of October. I think it's the Rising Sun pub in Belgravia. You've got to book online and make a tiny donation, but come and hear more about us there. I think that's a really good place to start. But hopefully being on things like your radio programme, Phil, and others, we are trying to get out there and let people know not just what we do and how they can help us, but people can volunteer and get involved as well, which is also brilliant.
Kate, thank you so much for coming on and good luck with it all. Kate Nightingale there.